Good morning, students. We'll start this chapter, the bear story. It is pronounced as bear, not bear. And it's similarly like the other stories where we had in the earlier story, Chandani, we had goat as a pet. Here we have a bear as a pet. So we'll start the story. There was once a lady who lived in an old manor house. Manor house is large house on the border of a big forest. So she's living in a big house near a forest. So this is a big house. This is called a manor house. This lady had a pet bear she was very fond of. So she had a pet bear. It had been found. Where did she find her? The bear. It had been found in the forest, half dead of hunger. And when it was a baby, she found it in the forest. It was so small and helpless that it had to be brought up on the bottle by the lady and the old cook. So she also has a cook with her. And this bear was fed like we do our babies with a bottle. That is, feeding him with a bottle. As you can see, as you must have seen how babies are fed. They are fed milk with a bottle. This was several years ago. So now he is grown up. And now he had grown up to a big bear. So big and strong that he could have slain. He was now such a big bear that slain is killed. Slain means killed. A cow and carried it away between his two paws if he wanted to. So he was now such a big bear and so strong that if he killed a cow, he could have carried between his two paws. Paws is the front legs of animals are called paws, like bear. Paws are the front animals, like a cat, a dog, a bear. The front legs are called paws. But he did not want to. Why? Because he was a most amiable. Amiable is friendly bear who did not dream of harming anybody, man or beast. Beast is animal. So now he is a pet animal, so he wouldn't harm anyone. He used to sit outside his kennel. Kennel is a place where these animals live. Like a horse stays in a stable. Similarly, a bear, a dog, they stay in a kennel. A cow stays in a cowshed. And look with his small intelligent eyes most amicably, I told you, friendly, at the cattle. Cattle is cows, buffaloes, goats. These are called cattle. Grazing is eating grass from the field, in the field nearby. The three shaggy is full of hair. Shaggy means full of hair. Mountain ponies is horses. They are small in size, so they are called ponies. In the stable I know where horses are kept, knew him well and did not mind in the least when he walked into the stable with his mistress. So this lady has a cook, she has a bear, and there are three horses, ponies, and the ponies also didn't mind the bear. And the children used to ride on his back. He was so friendly that children used to climb his back, and more than once had been found asleep in his kennel between his two paws. And sometimes the children playing would sleep within his paws and he would not harm anybody. This lady had three dogs, loved to play all sort of games with him, and she also had three dogs, and the dogs also used to play with this bear, pull his ears, I'll show you the picture, pull his ears and play around with him, and his stump of a tail, and his tail, you can see there's a small tail, stump is a small tail, and tease him in every way. But he did not mind it in the least. But since he was a friendly bear, he did not mind when all these children, dogs, or even the horses, they did not mind him. He had never tasted meat. Now we are talking about his food. He had never tasted meat. He ate the same food as the dogs and often out of the same plate. And they ate from the same plate, the dogs and the bear. And what was the food? Bread, porridge, potato, cabbage, turnip. So these are all vegetarian food. He had a fine appetite. Appetite is desire for hunger, desire for food, being hungry, that is called appetite. And his friend the cook, now I've told you about the cook, I've talked to you about the cook, saw to it that he got his fill. Fill means that he got enough, sufficient food. Fill means sufficient. Bears are vegetarians if they have a chance. See, normally children, students, bears are vegetarians, but they are sometimes they even eat fish and other flesh of animals. So they are omnivorous who eat both flesh and vegetables. And fruit is what they like best. And the best food of a bear is fruit. In the autumn, he used to sit and look with wistful eyes. Wistful is wishing, yearning, longing. Eyes at the ripening apples in the orchard. Orchard is a collective noun for a group of trees. Fruit trees is called orchard. A group of fruit trees is called orchard. So he used to look at the apples in the trees, and in his young days, and when he was small, he had been sometimes unable to resist the temptation to climb the tree and help himself to a handful of them. And when he was small, he used to climb those trees and eat all those ripened apples. Bears look clumsy. Clumsy is awkward, funny. Bears look clumsy is funny and slow in their movement. See, if you must have seen bears in a television, they look very funny when they walk. But try a bear with an apple tree and you'll soon find out that he can easily beat any schoolboy. But when he starts running or when he starts climbing tree, he can be very fast, and even he can beat any schoolboy at that game. So what the author is trying to say, that he can be very fast. Now he had learned that it was against the law, but he kept his small eyes wide open for any apples that fell to the ground. But now he was not allowed to climb apples and eat all those climb trees and eat all those apples. He was not allowed. So now what he did was, he was waiting for the apples to fall on the ground so that he could pick them up and eat. There had also been some difficulties about the beehives, and he had also bees, honey. Beehive is a collective noun where the bees stay. And bears, they love honey. He had been punished for this by being put on the chain for 2 days with a bleeding nose. So he was put on chain, a chain was put around his neck, and he was tied because he was not allowed to climb trees and he was not allowed to eat honeys from the beehives. And he had never done it again. And bleeding nose, because why bleeding? Because the bees had bitten his nose and he was not allowed to do it again. So we'll continue. This is the first part of the story. We'll continue with the next video in our next we'll continue with the story in our next video. Thank you all of you and have a nice day.